round number 1 getting underway as we see Frankie Watson, the number 19 of Tyler Humphries, looking good. Looks ready to go. And the number 4 of Travis Shaw, he's prepared and ready to race. Daniel Stevenson, number 18. There's the number 71 of Bradley Curtis. Watch for the starter. The green flag goes up. Rider's eyes on the lights, and away we go. Frankie Watson with a good start, but Tyler Humphries down the middle. But look at Watson, number 14. So kept his composure despite that bike trouble at the start, and Frankie Watson gets underway from Tyler Humphries. Arnie Carr right in there as well. Travis Shaw, Daniel Stevenson and Joshua Herring. Ollie O'Gorman 7th place, Thomas Bond, Archie Hooper rounding out the field as they make their way up to the top of the circuit, and Tyler Humphries starting to put the pressure on the number 14 of Frankie Watson as they make their way down the straight for the first time. Watson trying to break away. Holds that line as Tyler Humphries, a rider who's been putting on some great shows today. And oh, nice little move there from Tyler Humphries. I'm not sure that Frankie Watson was expecting that one, but it was a brave move from Tyler Humphries to snatch the lead. And let's see what Frankie Watson can do now. Can he fight back as they make their way into the right-hander? So Humphries first, Watson second as they make their way through. Arnie Carr not too far behind in third, number 83. Over the line they go. So Tyler Humphries it is this time that takes the lead. Frankie Watson close behind in second. I'm sure that Watson, he won't be happy with himself for letting that lead slip, and he'll be determined to try and fight back and retake the lead. Travis Shaw not too far behind there now, fighting through into third position. Just a little bit further behind there, then we've got the number 18 of Daniel Stevenson, Joshua Herring in 6th place, Bradley Curtis, Ollie O'Gorman, Thomas Bond and Archie Hooper rounding up the 10-rider field. As Humphries now down the back straight they go. Look out for the second place Watson. There's third position now, the number 4 of Travis Shaw, who fought back very strongly earlier on today. So we'll see if he can do much of the same in this final race. Arnie Carr and Daniel Stevenson 4th and 5th place. Joshua Herring still there in 6th position. Bradley Curtis, Ollie O'Gorman, Thomas Bond and Archie Hooper rounding up the field. But Tyler Humphries just trying to break away a bit here at the front of the field. Let's have a look at the gap as they cross the line, as we just see Travis Shaw trying to get involved in this fight for the lead. So Humphries fastest lap of the race there, 1:14.432 to give us an idea of the pace. Watson second, Shaw in third position, Arnie Carr 83 still there in 4th place, Daniel Stevenson, Bradley Curtis, Joshua Herring, Ollie O'Gorman and Thomas Bond running up the field from Archie Hooper on the number 12, still there in 10th place. But Humphries just trying to break away. As we look at Arnie Carr and Daniel Stevenson fighting away for that 4th position. Down the straight go the leaders. Humphries just starting to break away slowly at the front, the gap around half a second or so as they make their way up towards the final few corners. Then there's this battle here between Arnie Carr and Daniel Stevenson. Bradley Curtis and Joshua Herring just a little bit further behind. So 83, Arnie Carr making his way around that bowl corner, heading towards the final hairpin. Through he goes. Tyler Humphries though, number 19, still the race leader. Leads the race now by 2.7 seconds from Frankie Watson. Travis Shaw still third, Arnie Carr in 4th. And here we focus on the number 83 of Carr as he makes his way up towards the top corner. Back to our leader though, and Tyler Humphries looking very strong at the front of the field. He came under a lot of pressure in the early stages from Frankie Watson. And we saw the method in which Tyler Humphries very sneakily snatched lead. I don't think that Watson was expecting him to dive down the inside like that, so he took the opportunity to grab the lead, and now really starting to break away. I can tell you that Joshua Herring has just returned the bike into the paddock, so it looks like the number 912 currently in 8th position on your lap charts. is dropping out of the race. So that'll mean, of course, that Thomas Bond and Archie Hooper both move up a position. And we'll grab a few more vital championship points, but we're watching now the number 19 of Tyler Humphries just starting to break away at the front now. So the gap went up to 2.7 seconds. And here he comes over the line, so Humphries leading. Looking very strong at the front of the field. Watson still in second position. There he is, number 14, the early race leader. So losing ground on the leader so far. The gap goes up to 3.2 seconds, but Frankie Watson, number 14, in second position, is not giving this one up. But he's going to have to be careful here, because charging hard in third is the machine of Travis Shaw. Look out for the number 4. And there he is. Round the top corner he goes, trying to close up on the second place rider. Here they come back into view. There's Tyler Humphries, the race leader. Watson still in second place. Shaw in third. Travis Shaw just bringing the gap down ever so slightly. There's a bit of a gap then before we see the next two riders coming through there. Arnie Carr and Daniel Stevenson still disputing that fourth position, as Travis Shaw, number 4 there, making his way through the hairpin. Carrying a lot of speed through there, and into the hairpin he goes. So Travis Shaw out to the final corner, trying to close up on Frankie Watson. Let's have a look at the gap as they cross the line. So Humphries leading. And it's staying about 1.5 seconds between second and third place so far. So at the moment, Frankie Watson getting into a rhythm here. Not letting Travis Shaw in third get too close. Through the chicane he goes, number 14, your second place rider Arnie Carr and Daniel Stevenson still fairly close for fourth position. Then Bradley Curtis, Ollie O'Gorman, Thomas Bond and Archie Hooper rounding up the remaining riders, with the 912 of Joshua Herring retiring from the race. The gap currently 3 seconds between first and second place. Humphries has established the lead at the moment and just seems to have settled into around the 1:15 region. So Watson remaining around 3 seconds behind in that second position. Makes his way through the right-hander. And into the hairpin he goes. So Frankie Watson running strongly in second position, number 14. There he goes in towards the final corner. Tyler Humphries still leading the way at the front of the field. And as they cross the line, so Humphries through with a 1:14.4. So he's picked up the pace again. 1:15.1 last time round. So Frankie Watson just starting to close the gap slightly in second place. Travis Shaw not really able to close up on Frankie Watson. To me, it looks like Watson closing up slightly on Tyler Humphries now. Whether that's going to be enough to challenge for the lead, it's going to be tight, but here's that battle still between Carr and Stevenson, just a little bit further behind. The number 83 of Arnie Carr in towards the final couple of corners. So just to recap then, Tyler Humphries leading from the second place Frankie Watson, who's just trying to close that gap slightly, just focusing on this battle at the moment between Arnie Carr and Daniel Stevenson for fourth position. Travis Shaw was closing up on Watson in second place, but seems to have settled into the rhythm in third for the time being. But the closest battle so far in this race seems to be between Arnie Carr here, number 83, and the number 18 of Daniel Stevenson, trying to find his way through. Bradley Curtis, number 71, still in sixth position. Ollie O'Gorman, Thomas Bond, Archie Hooper and the retired Joshua Herring making up the rest of the field. They just saw towards the back of the shot there, the number 71 of Bradley Curtis, currently having a steady race in sixth place, not really close to anyone at the moment, not really under any pressure, so he's just looking to bring the bike home and bag that sixth position. Over the line he goes, but it's not so straightforward here in the fight for fourth place, because Arnie Carr has got Daniel Stevenson all over the back wheel. Just check your lap charts there. Frankie Watson in second place, 1:14.995, just pulling another tenth or so on the race leader Tyler Humphries. Now Humphries under no immediate concern because the gap is still 2.5 seconds, but Humphries certainly won't be wanting to make any mistakes because Frankie Watson not giving this one up, and he could still potentially be right in there if anything happens to Tyler Humphries that impedes his progress, you might say. Any kind of a mistake out of a corner or high sides, he gets the bike stood up in the corner, it could allow Watson in there. So he's certainly keeping the fight as Humphries goes over the line. Still that fight between Travis Shaw and Arnie Carr. And Tyler Humphries just picking the pace back up, but Frankie Watson matching him for pace. It remains at 2.5 seconds between first and second position. Travis Shaw in third, and still this close fight between Arnie Carr 83 and the number 18 of Daniel Stevenson for the fourth position. So Stevenson still there in fifth and still trying to find a way through. The rest of the field still made up of the 71 Bradley Curtis, Ollie O'Gorman, Thomas Bond and Archie Hooper. Closing stages now of this final race with Tyler Humphries leading the race by 2.5 seconds. And the one lap board now being readied down on the finish line as we've still got this very close battle between Arnie Carr and Stevenson. Down the straight they go. Not quite close enough though for Stevenson to make a pass. As they go through into the right-hander. Leaders now making their way back towards the final few corners as Humphries, as we speak, goes over the line and takes the one lap board. And there he is. You can see Watson just behind him. And looking at the lap charts there, you can see that Tyler Humphries has just picked up the pace to match Frankie Watson in second. You've got to give the second place number 14 Frankie Watson credit here for not giving up the fight. It's remained at about 2.5 seconds. It would be very easy to lose heart and let Tyler Humphries check away at the front, but it still remains at about 2.5, 2.6 to be precise there between Humphries and Watson first and second place. And it's that kind of a gap where if Humphries was to make a mistake, he would still say that Watson could be in there. He's still charging. There goes Watson out of view in second position as we focus on the third place rider Travis Shaw, who was putting the fight towards Watson earlier on, but having to settle for third position now. As Tyler Humphries closes in on the checkered flag. Still that fight between Travis Shaw and Arnie Carr a little bit further behind, but the top three just seem to have settled into a bit of an order here as the rest of the field make their way through. Ollie O'Gorman, Thomas Bond, Archie Hooper going through as we look at Travis Shaw. Meanwhile, Tyler Humphries making his way up towards the final corner. Checkered flag now being readied, and race win. Last race of the day goes to the number 19, Tyler Humphries. Frankie Watson with the fastest lap of the race on that final lap, 1:14.324. So Watson has to settle for second position, but certainly not giving that one up lightly. Here comes the fight to the line though. Travis Shaw in third, Carr and Stevenson neck and neck as they make their way up towards the finish line. Oh, and look at that. Arnie Carr just about holds off Daniel Stevenson for that fourth place. What a fight there from Daniel Stevenson, but he has to settle for fifth place. Bradley Curtis on the number 71 making his way around the final hairpin, and a good steady race for him. He will finish in sixth position. There he goes, number 71 Bradley Curtis. Last few riders making their way around the second half of the lap now. Ollie O'Gorman on the number 88 coming up towards the final corner, and right on cue there he is. So O'Gorman out of the final hairpin, and he will bring it home in seventh position. Last two riders on the lap now are Thomas Bond and Archie Hooper. They're having a bit of a scrap here for the final finishing spot, and there is Bond. Out of the final corner he goes. Stays just ahead of Archie Hooper, and unfortunately, of course, Joshua Herring out of the race. So that's the last riders over the line right now, fighting to the line. But congratulations to Tyler Humphries for taking another race victory. But Frankie Watson, what a fight back for him. Fastest lap there on the final lap and bringing the gap down to 2 seconds. So certainly a very hard fought victory. But for Tyler Humphries, back to the paddock he goes, and he'll be back in action, of course, at round number 2 at Rowra.